Now on Up North Live News at 6. Increasing support to victims of crime, what Governor Whitmer is asking for in the state's budget, and how it would help Michigan State Police's Victim Services Program.
We're really well on our way to exceeding that goal and that number.
A Northern Michigan library is serving more than just books this summer, hundreds of free meals for kids, the growing need they're seeing. Plus, a major effort to protect Lake Sturgeon kicks off next month in Cheboygan County, what researchers hope to learn about the fish. And we'll take you to another fun-filled day at the National Cherry Festival.
This is Up North Live News at 6 on 7 and 4.
Budget talks continue in Lansing as the clock ticks down to tomorrow's deadline. As lawmakers hash out the details, Governor Gretchen Whitmer over the weekend highlighted a proposal she's made in her budget. It would expand the Victim Services Program through Michigan State Police. The $1.3 million investment would add 8 more people to the staff. Courtney Bennett has more.
Many times people don't know who to call, or the law enforcement officers, including troopers, are busy on the next call and don't have the time to invest in making sure that the victim has everything they need to feel supported after a crime. And the crime victim advocates fill that void.
They are the ones assisting someone after they were assaulted or human trafficked. They can not only provide those resources in the hours after a horrendous and life-changing moment, but they can be the support in the courtroom.
To help them develop their victim impact statements and ensure that their voices are heard.
The services are provided to someone in a Michigan State Police related case. In the budget proposal, Governor Gretchen Whitmer is asking for $1.3 million, which would bring the total number of advocates to 22.
Victim advocates can transform what might otherwise be a stressful or really negative interaction with law enforcement into a positive, supportive interaction.
According to state data, MSP advocates have about 20 to 35 cases at a time. Last year, the program served more than 1,200 victims.
Law enforcement-based victim advocates are essential to both public safety and victim recovery. They help ensure that our victims are not only heard, but also supported at a high level to make sure that they have support through the most difficult times of their life.
Thanks to Courtney Bennett for that story. Right now, there are 14 advocates across the state, and according to the program's website, they can only work with victims of MSP cases due to current staffing. Again, lawmakers still working out Michigan's fiscal budget for 2026. Developing tonight, the U.S. Supreme Court announced today it will review whether or not the Michigan Attorney General's lawsuit seeking to shut down a section of Line 5 belongs in state or federal court. The Supreme Court did not explain its reason for taking up the matter. Enbridge officials said in a statement that they were encouraged by the Supreme Court's choice, noting that exceptions to the 30-day deadline exist. It comes as tonight marks the end of public comment ahead of a plan to build a tunnel under the Straits of Mackinac. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers draft environmental impact statement looks into proposed safety upgrades to the Line 5 pipeline that carries oil from Canada. The tunnel plans recently put on the fast track after the Trump White House declared a nationwide energy emergency. We reached out to Enbridge for comment. A spokesperson sent us a statement calling it a, quote, critical step forward in planning a project that will modernize energy infrastructure, protect the Great Lakes, and ensure long-term energy reliability for Michigan and the broader region. A final environmental impact statement is expected sometime this fall. And to see the full statement from Enbridge on today's Supreme Court decision and the EIS, head to the UpNorthLive website and mobile app. In May, we told you how one Northern Michigan library district is stepping up this summer to fill a food need for families. The Traverse Area District Library partnered with Feeding America to provide free lunches for kids while they're out of school. Our Allie Baxter checked in with staff today about the increased need they're seeing this summer.
Now we have summer lunches.
That was Andy Shook, the Traverse Area District Library's Director of Youth Services. Back in May, before the kickoff of the library's free summer lunch program, it's made possible by partnering with Feeding America West Michigan and their Gather to Grow program.
It's usually one meat option and one vegetarian option.
Fast forward a month later, and Andy says they're seeing an increased need for these meals. 1,700 meals were handed out in less than a month between the main library and its East Bay, Interlochen, and Kingsley branches. The total last summer, 2,500.
We're really well on our way to exceeding that goal and that number.
Monday through Friday, library staff sit here and offer a free lunch to whoever needs it.
Libraries are busy places in the summer, and families visit the library a lot, and especially during summer reading programs.
It's the summer reading program that Andy says draws families in, so they're able to feed minds and stomachs as well.
Your little can of tuna, some raisins, more applesauce, some sunflower seeds, some crunchy, carby bites, and then a juice.
200 of these bagged lunches were handed out in one day during the summer reading program. An average is 60 to 70 a day.
If the child is hungry and they eat their lunch there right then at the library or outside the library, and they're still hungry, they can come back and get a second one as well.
No limits, no restrictions, just library staff wanting to meet their community where they are. And it's something Andy says has been a much-needed boost.
Families have come and they keep coming back. We know that that's just kind of one way that they express their thanks.
In Traverse City, Allie Baxter, UpNorthLive News.
And if you're in need of a free meal, the main library passes out lunches from 11 a.m. until 12:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. And we also have a list of participating libraries over on our website, UpNorthLive.com. A man is being charged with malicious destruction of property after deputies said he threw rocks at windows at the Wexford County Sheriff's Office. Because of the broken glass, the Sheriff's Office said its front area is closed for people's safety. The front area is expected to be back up and open tomorrow at 8 a.m. Deputies said the man arrested was already known to law enforcement. The Sheriff's Office says he was arrested without incident and is now being held in Wexford County Jail. No injuries were reported. An investigation is underway following the death of a Northport man. He had a medical incident while he was driving his car, causing him to crash. That's according to the Leelanau County Sheriff's Office. Deputies say it happened around 6 a.m. yesterday on South Lake Leelanau Drive near Otto Road in Bingham Township. The man has been identified as 57-year-old John Norman. The Sheriff's Office says alcohol and speed are not believed to be factors in the incident. Also in Leelanau County, a bicyclist was killed yesterday after the Leelanau County Sheriff's Office says a crash happened at the Tart Trail crossing on South Center Highway. Investigators said a pickup pulling a boat trailer was traveling north on the highway when the bicyclist failed to properly negotiate the intersection, crashing into the pickup. The bicyclist later died at the hospital as a result of the crash. He has been identified as David O'Brien II of Trenton. The accident remains under investigation with the assistance from MSP. Continuing coverage now on those ice storm impacts as we take a live look over downtown Gaylord, where a community celebration is underway. Crowds gathering to honor the heroes of that devastating storm and the whole community as northern Michigan tries to turn the page. There's live music and food at the pavilion until 8 tonight, followed by an outdoor screening of The Wild Robot. And the U.S. Small Business Administration is extending its Disaster Loan Outreach Center in Emmett County after the SBA granted disaster relief earlier this month. It's to help small businesses, private nonprofits, and residents affected by the ice storm. The Outreach Center in Little Traverse Township is now staying open through July 12th. Representatives at the center can answer any questions about the loan program and explain the application process. The center is open Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. until 5 p.m., Saturdays from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. It will be closed on Sundays and the July 4th holiday, and then it'll permanently close on July 12th at 2 p.m. Walk-ins are accepted, and you can also set an appointment. And to learn more about the center and a link to set up appointments, go to the UpNorthLive mobile app and website. Looking ahead now, a week from today, a Lake Sturgeon survey will be conducted on Burt Lake. It will be held by the Michigan Department of Natural Resources Fisheries Division, the Little Traverse Bay Bands of Odawa Indians, Bay Mills Indian Community, Michigan State University, and other partners. There has been a push to restock sturgeon for the last 2 decades, as it is a native fish for many lakes around the state. The survey will help clarify if the rehabilitation efforts are working by getting a sense of the population, sizing, age, and more.
Once we capture them, we put them in a holding tank on the boat with an aerator and all that, and gather information about them, their length, girth, things like that. And we then put a tag in them so we can uniquely identify that fish hopefully generate a population estimate or gather information if we capture that unique fish in the future as well.
The surveying will not harm the fish, and Godby requests that anglers stay away from any buoys because that's where the netting of fish will be. We'll have an update tied to that freighter that recently had to anchor in the St. Mary's River for several days. The Honorable James L. Oberstar has now made its way to Superior, Wisconsin. The freighter pulled into Fraser Shipyards on June 18th. This comes after a 28-hour trip from Sault Ste. Marie. Crews aboard the freighter felt vibrations while east of Nebish Island earlier this month. A unified command was then formed for the restoration efforts. The area around and downriver from the Hay Lake anchorage has shown no signs of pollution. Well, the annual tradition of the International Bridge Walk returned this past weekend in Sault Ste. Marie. Check it out. The walk started Saturday at Lake Superior State University and ended near the Canadian Customs. International Bridge Administration officials say around 1,000 people took part in the event. Last year's Bridge Walk was canceled at the last minute because of weather conditions, and the event was also canceled from 2020 until 2022 on account of the pandemic.
Oh, it's just great to come up to the UP and just love to see the scenery and the bridge, the locks, the river. Oh, just how relaxed and friendly everyone's been. The people singing both national anthems at the beginning was very cool.
Along with the IBA, 12 different law enforcement agencies and first responders provided security and safety measures for the walk. The National Cherry Festival in full swing in Traverse City, from the Princess Tea to cherry pie eating. We have a wrap-up of today's festival fun coming up next on Up North Live News at 6.
Much of the area dry, although there are a few thunderstorms out there. I'll look at that and what to expect as we head into July and the 4th of July after the break.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.